Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Strong as You Think. Today, I want to talk about feeling safe and trusting yourself. So, in becoming more trauma informed, something that I've learned about that is that when something difficult happens to us, we often blame ourselves. We think we should have been able to prevent that. We trusted someone that we found out we probably shouldn't have trusted. And we start to blame ourselves. And along with that blame, we start doubting ourselves. We stop trusting ourselves. And the interesting fact with that is when we don't even trust ourselves, then we actually don't feel safe with ourselves. Let's think about that. And how must it feel to not feel safe with yourself? That probably means you don't ever feel completely safe, right? And it's not really your fault, but it's something to be aware of because many, if not all of us, have had something that feels traumatic to us, that has really made an impact, something negative that's made an impact on us. And it can very easily cause us to doubt ourselves and to not feel safe with ourselves, to not trust ourselves. But feeling safe is actually a need. So there's many of us going around with this need for safety that's not completely met. And we don't trust ourselves. We start looking for that outside of ourselves. We need a loved one to tell us that we're safe and we're okay. We sometimes use religion to tell us that we're safe. We feel really drawn to staying within certain limits because we don't really trust ourselves and our judgment. So we need to have something outside of us, some sort of judgment or limits. And I feel like we've been seeing this a lot, particularly during the pandemic. We've been seeing more fear, people feeling less safe. And so they want something to keep them safe in some area of their lives. They might feel that being vaccinated is safe. They might feel that wearing a mask is safe. They might feel like being around those people. And that's just one example, but there's all sorts of things outside of us that we turn to feel safe when we don't feel safe here. Okay. And just to say, like, a lot of times we think trauma and we think of some big thing like abuse, right? Near death, accidents, a divorce. And a lot of us recognize those as traumas, which they are. And those can all cause us to have trauma responses and to not feel safe and to question our judgment. However, there can be lots of other things that can be categorized as traumas just because of the way they affect us. If they cause us to not feel safe and to trigger some of these, a lot of times physical reactions from an unsafe nervous system, those can be as well. So don't make it worse by judging yourself saying, well, that shouldn't bother me that way. The thing is once it's happened and once we have reacted a certain way to it, that's just the way it is. And so it doesn't do any good to judge ourselves for our reaction to it. We are doing the best we can. Our bodies and brains were trying to keep us safe, right? They felt like something was a threat. So we don't want to judge ourselves. So we just want to recognize that there are a lot of different things that can cause this trauma response and to cause us to feel unsafe with ourselves and to look for that outside of ourselves. So I would say that if you have serious unprocessed trauma, that you might seriously want to think about seeing a therapist, maybe one who specializes in processing trauma. There's lots of other methods besides even just talk therapy or psychotherapy that can help integrate that trauma and to help it be more manageable. So if it's really causing your life to really halt and not be able to act and function in a normal functional way, you're going to want to look into that. I suggest that. But if it's something that maybe is not as serious of a trauma, that it's causing some problem in your life, but you can still function, or that you've already worked with a professional to work on processing that, that is cases where a life coach can help you. I have worked with people who are concurrently working with a therapist for their trauma, or have previously worked with a therapist, or that it's not something that we can talk about the trauma, but it's not something that has completely taken over their life. And this is something that as a life coach we can work on. But first of all, like I said earlier, just be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself for what causes a trauma response. Sometimes people will even tell us, well, that shouldn't upset you. Well, the fact is it did. Okay. Doesn't matter why. So your nervous system has been triggered and it's on alert and it doesn't feel safe anymore. So that's what we want to deal with. We don't need to put judgments on why it happened or if it should have happened. That really doesn't matter. And we can work on that too, because you still may be telling yourself that. So we can work on that. And also, once the feelings have become strong, your nervous system is feeling unsafe, you're probably not going to just be able to talk yourself out of it and say, this shouldn't bother me. I don't want to be feeling this way. And because it's something that's come into your body and you're having a physical response often to it, then you're going to want to go and deal with how it feels in your body. And this is kind of how we say we calm our nervous system. And one thing we can do with that is there's something called grounding, whereas you just press your feet firmly into the ground. You want to close your eyes and kind of just feel all the sensations that are feeling in your body. Just don't think about why you're feeling them, because then you're getting back up here. You want to be down into your body and feel how it's feeling. I mean, you can say part of your body, maybe your head hurts, but we're not thinking about why and having all the words go around. And you could it's actually also very powerful to name what emotion you're feeling. You might be feeling scared because, it's a feeling of safe. Sometimes it's anxious, it's worry. Sometimes when we dig deep, it's really sad. Sometimes we realize underneath all of that, we have this really sad feeling too, that we just haven't wanted to deal with. Okay. Sometimes because it's too painful to deal with, and sometimes because we think we shouldn't be feeling that way. So as you do that, it might feel uncomfortable. You might not want to do that. So I would just practice doing it for a few minutes every day, maybe building up the time. Most likely it took a while to kind of get these feelings in there that we've been kind of practicing ignoring them for a while. So they might not be recognizable at first. We might feel like it's okay. We might just feel this underlying tension or irritation sometimes. Okay. But practicing with the grounding and then just closing your eyes and really feeling the sensations that happen in your body. Some common ones that can come up are like tightness in the chest and the throat, sometimes in the stomach area. Sometimes your stomach area feels like it might be churning. Sometimes your neck and shoulder area will be tight and clenched, right? Your jaw, okay? But just really get in touch with that and don't try and get rid of those sensations. You're not doing that with the expectation of getting rid of it. It's just to kind of listen to your body and to what it wants to tell you, because most of the times it's getting tense and these things are starting to come out because we haven't dealt with something. We've kind of pushed aside something that's been bothering us, and it never really goes away until we actually deal with it. So, and a lot of times we just don't even know that it's there or what it is that we should be dealing with. So we're going to practice this. This is something that comes up a lot, and it takes practice. For those of us, and I'm one of those, that have kind of ignored our feelings. Really, for a lot of my life, I've ignored a lot of my feelings and wondered why all of a sudden I feel upset about something. That sometimes is a clue that there's feelings going on and being stored in different places in our bodies. Okay. And that we're not feeling safe. Okay. We don't even know that. So, want to challenge you, ground yourself, put both feet firmly on the ground, or you can like sit. Another way of grounding is, you know, in yoga, a lot of times they have you sit. They say sit on your sit bones, you know, sit in your cross-legged or however is comfortable on the floor. That's also a way to do grounding. Get really connected, and then just close your eyes and really get down into the physical sensations of your body. And don't try and get away from them. Just embrace them. Just lean in and really think about them. There's even power in naming the emotions, okay? Somehow that calms the brain and the nervous system. So let's work on that this week. I dare say that almost all of us have a little something going on underneath the surface that could benefit from grounding. Pay attention to your body. And as you practice this over time, you're going to feel more safe with yourself. I found that I started sleeping better after a time with this practice. It's not perfect. It's something that I will always have to pay attention to and to work on, but it's made a big difference in my life. And I want that for you guys too. Okay. So thank you for joining me. And we'll see you next time on Strong as You Think. Bye.